secret US Air Force Squadron flew Soviet MiG fighters in the Cold War. The 4477th was a secret US Air Force squadron that flew acquired Soviet MiG aircraft against US pilots to train them in the art of dogfighting. At the height of the Cold War, the United States was looking to get the upper hand over potential opponents flying Soviet military aircraft. During the early years of the Vietnam War, the US was suddenly exposed to how its faith in missiles for air combat had been badly misguided, with very few pilots in the US Navy, Air Force and Marine Corps exposed to the art of dogfighting. The percentage of aircraft from the US lost in air-to-air combat was growing as the war went on, and something had to be quickly done. This would lead to the establishment of the 4477th Test and Evaluation Flight under Tactical Air Command. The unit was the product of Project Constant Peg, and it had one simple purpose: to expose US pilots to the flight characteristics of Soviet aircraft and fly them in dogfights, to work out the strengths and weaknesses of each type. The squadron would fly out of the Tonopah Test Range Airport, which would become home to the F-117 Nighthawks and indeed still is their home, and fly aircraft such as the MiG-21. The MiG-15 was the Soviet Union's revolutionary fighter jet. The acquisitions of MiGs for the 4477th Squadron. Following the Vietnam War, the 4477th was set up, and it set about acquiring Russian MiGs that it could use during the program. The program would begin with two MiG-17FS and a MiG-21 loaned by Israel, which were in fact captured from the Syrian and Iraqi air forces. MiG-21s from the Indonesian air forces and various other sources were soon added, such as some MiGs and Sukhois from the Luftwaffe and MiGs from Morocco. Clandestine purchases via the CIA from sources in Poland and Romania might have supplied spare parts. An impressive array of Soviet aircraft would soon be all gathered at the airfield. The MiG-17s were subsequently retired in 1981 and the squadron would focus mostly on the use of the MiG-21 and the MiG-23, with the MiG-17 proving troublesome to the mechanics at Tonopah. To minimize the risks to the aircraft, the MiGs were never flown in bad weather or at night, and they were all stored in hangars as much as possible to keep them a secret both from the training pilots when they arrived, and the Soviet spy satellites.